So we got so much to do on this farm and so little time to do it. So anytime we can take a more permanent and pragmatic measure to something that's a temporary pain in the ass, which tends to be weeds, we are going to try to mitigate that as efficiently as possible. So we're just putting the least amount of effort into those menial tasks so we can, you know, kind of focus on the more important and bigger picture on this farm. So what I've done is taken the page out of many other farmers' handbooks, and I laid down this landscape fabric down this bed here in which we're going to plant our pepper starts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our flame weeder and burn holes in this going down, and that way we can plant the transplants right into the fabric and really essentially negate any weed pressure that would arise if this bed were uncovered. So I'm going to demonstrate that right now. Enjoy. Smoking! So I don't know if you can kind of see that, but I have pre-marked out the holes at the proper widths for these particular plants. And this fabric will be, this stencil will be good for us for years. So we can just continue to use this. But so here we go. Dig it? I asked you, can you dig it? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the finished product. Certainly not a perfect job, but it's good enough. So what I'll do now is I'll remove the fabric from the bed, place down the irrigation lines underneath. Then we'll compost the bed really nice and get it nice and prepped for planting our pepper starts. So this is going to save us countless hours of weeding. And not to mention, the ground cover is great for beneficial microbiology and worms, especially when there's any kind of organic matter under these tarps, which there certainly is. We put a lot of compost, so it's just another long-term approach at keeping down weed pressure. So, this is the classroom. We just learned a lesson. What was the lesson?
Make bigger holes.
Make bigger holes. So the video I showed you, or I filmed a short little while ago, this is what we were going for. However, the holes were not nearly big enough to plant the transplants into, so we had to like finagle them to the bottom, which made it a real pain in the ass. But overall, now you see what we were going for. Hey, not to sound naive or anything, but why are you watering that way? We have an irrigation system.
It is because our drip tape, we could leave it on and it would water, but keeping the top of the bed moist ensures even germination. So I think walking up and down the row a few times, once or twice a day, is actually a really good way to make sure that happens.
That's a hell of an answer.
Huh?
That's a hell of an answer.
Thanks.
This bed, so the carrot seed typically takes about 7 days to germinate. So being that we have another couple days until that happens, I'm going to go over this bed with a flame weeder. And that way, any weed seeds that have germinated in between the time that we had planted until now, the heat will take care of them. And the carrots, once they germinate, will have a head start on those weeds. So I'm going to demonstrate that real quickly. I was about to start this earlier and realized I didn't bring my shoes today. I was just wearing flip-flops. My daredevil self was like, oh yeah, you can totally do this with flip-flops. And then my 32-year-old common sense side, who has been wounded and hurt many times by my daredevil side, has said, no, go home, get your shoes, come back and do this. onion transplants in the ground. It was all me. I'm kidding. Look at this lovely lady.
It's so hot.
I think it's kind of shady, so it's hard to see all the dirt over your face, but
because I keep wiping
dripping with sweat
off my face.
and dirt all over your face. A true.
Whew, it's not even 10 o'clock.
A true farmer, you are.
This is awesome.
All right, this is our first big restaurant order. So we're out here on a Saturday morning doing a harvest. It's actually very advantageous weather. It seems to be in the mid to upper 60s and cloudy. It's mist. Everything is got a nice rain last night. So although it's a little messy out here, we don't have to worry as too much about the heat, about the heat stress in the plants. We don't have our walk-in cooler set up yet. So right now we're just trying to give everything that we harvest a nice cold water bath. And then we're storing them in our little coolers over here until we ship them later. The shipment is going to our good friends at Farm and Fisherman Tavern in Horsham, Pennsylvania. I just so happen to bartend there one night a week too. So I'll be delivering and then slinging some drinks and then bringing the coolers home, washing them out tomorrow. We are harvesting for them summer crisp lettuce right here, and then this big jungle of romaine. Man, as you can see, the weeds have just absolutely popped up out of nowhere with all this rain we've had. But yeah, this will be a good test. This is our first big harvest together, and we'll see how it goes, and we're just going to constantly pay attention to any improvements we can make. There are certainly a lot of them. Alright, so these are the cold water baths we're giving our little harvested babies before we put them in the cooler. So Cat is soaking rainbow chard over here, and then just kind of air drying them. Fan me, woman! And then they're going into the Rubbermaid totes for delivery. You love doing these videos, don't you?
I love them so much.
How do you think today went? Today's our first really big, not really big, but on our scale, it was a big harvest. How did it go?
We're figuring out some kinks and what we need to change.
Kinks? We had kinks?
We had lots of kinks. Yeah, we have nowhere to store cold stuff, so we're figuring that out.
Yeah, Uncle Jay over here is going to be working on setting up the cold storage for this upcoming week.
You call yourself Uncle Jay?
Uncle Jay! In case little Allie or Gracie are watching. But yeah, I mean, the cooler is kind of the big task we need to work on, because it slows everything else down now that we don't have one. So everything is kind of clunky. What's the word in Spanish? Choque? Choque. What else do you think? I feel like we worked pretty well. I mean, we both bartended together for a long time, so we kind of just know how to work around each other without pissing each other off too much.
Too much.
So, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I love you. Ha ha ha.